Hey guys, in this video, nutrition video, I'm going to be talking about macros, fats, carbs and proteins. Fats, carbs and proteins are your three major macronutrients which are found in most people's diets. When you know how to measure your macros, work out your base diet, you'll be able to either put on muscle or burn fat just by using an app like MyFitnessPal. I personally like to use MyFitnessPal because it measures your calories and your macros together. I want to break it down as most simply as I can. Okay, so with macros, like I said, you've got fats, carbs and protein. In every gram of protein, there is 4 calories. In every gram of carbs, there is 4 calories. Okay, in every gram of fats, there is 9 calories. So this is important information to know. So when you are measuring your macros, using MyFitnessPal or whatever app you choose to use, if you're doing 100 grams of carbs, that's obviously 400 calories. If you're doing 100 grams of protein, that's obviously 400 calories. If you're doing 10 grams of fats, that's obviously 90 calories. So once you set up all your calories for the day, that's actually called your daily caloric intake. Okay, calories are a unit of measure for energy. So calories, what everyone says, are not a bad thing. Okay, calories this, calories that. What calories do I have to lose fat? What calories do I have to build muscle? But that's what I'm basically going to explain today without overwhelming you. A lot of people that are first starting off, when you look at just the training program, that's hard enough to get your head around. When you're putting macros and measuring macros into it, it gets a little bit confusing. So I'm going to tell you how I do it, how I don't have to sit there every day measuring my macros and getting overwhelmed, and I get to spend more time on my training or my gym and my clients. So guys, when you break it down, like I said, there's fats, carbs and protein. So I'm just going to talk to you about what would be a good fat loss macro and what would be a good muscle gain macro. So when you look at calories, guys, could be anywhere from 2,500 to 3,200. It depends on your activity level. You know, how much you train in the gym. You could be a tradie, working your bum off all day and then coming to the gym. So obviously we've got to take that into account. Also comes down to how crazy your metabolism is. It comes down to your active metabolic rate. So a lot of people, like myself, who have been training for a long time, I can be sitting there in bed, and I think my active metabolic rate is at almost 3,000 calories, 2,800. That means my active metabolism and my active metabolic rate will burn 2,800 calories by doing nothing. That's not including the training on top. I personally like to run a 2,500 calorie plan with 40 carbs, 40 protein, 20 fats, and I like to bump up to about 4 to 7,000 calorie refeed once a week. And I'll talk about carb loading in my video below. Guys, when it comes down to macros, it comes down to your body type. I do like to start people off on a bulk on about 3,200. So 3,200 being 40 carbs, 40 protein, and 20 being fats. It's obviously really important when you are thinking about macros. If you're going to go high carbs, you can't go high fats. You can't have both. Okay, your body just physically can't push it around. All right, so I'm going to explain carbohydrates and timing of carbohydrates now. So if I train in the morning, which I do, I train fasted. I'll have my branch chains, and then I'll come and train. I might have some dextrose, depending on how depleted I feel, which is a pure carb. But at the best time to take pure carbs like dextrose, white rice, even lollies, which is a high GI carb, is directly after you train, because you want to spike your insulin level. You want to get that protein and that carbohydrate straight into your muscle, and that's the most important window. Okay. The best time to have, say if you're training in the afternoon, brown rice, sweet potato, quinoa, they're great carbs to have, say, half an hour to 1 hour before you train, because they're low GI carbs and they're going to slowly release the energy throughout your session. Okay, I personally like to if I'm still training in the afternoon, I like to go just fats and protein, okay? So bacon, some eggs, spinach, mushrooms, okay? Maybe, you know, have a protein bar and some almonds or something, and then maybe train later in the day, because I like to train on no carbs and have that instant dextrose or rice, white rice spike after I train, okay? And when you look at, so remember, when you're looking at carbs, there's high GI and low GI. You can't just have high GI carbs all day long, because they're going to constantly spike your insulin level, and you're just not going to get the best effect from your training. So remember, the best window to spike your insulin level and have high GI carbs is after you train. Also, just want to highlight, and I will highlight in my video, with cheat meals are the best time to have your cheat meal. Is your high GI carbs after your biggest training day on your weakest muscle group. Alright guys, I'm going to talk about proteins now. So obviously, most people know that the best protein to have, some of the best protein to have, is your chicken, your white fish, you've got lean cuts of steak, you've got turkey mince, you've got salmon. All these lean meats are the best meats to have for your body. It's really important to have protein every, say, 3 hours during the day in your meals. Like I said, most guys will have 6 or 7 meals a day. So this also creates protein synthesis and helps you build muscle. Protein is the building block for building muscle, and we also use it for recovery. So just remember, your processed ham, processed meats, not the best proteins to have. Okay. You want to buy as fresh as you can. Organic is best, and you can't beat the best protein out there, your natural eggs. Okay. When you break it down into fats, you've got your saturated and unsaturated fat. So obviously, you want to make sure you're having the right fats in your day. Like you've got avocado, you've got salmon, has a really good fat. You've got fish oil tablets. You've got avocados. You've got Brazil nuts or almonds, which do hold those awesome fats. So remember, on the other hand, you've got, you know, donuts and all that crappy saturated fat that you don't want into your body. It's not too bad to have one free meal a week, but you don't want to be having this every day, like I just spoke about, having your insulin levels spiked all the time. So it's important. I usually like to have fats in one meal, which is my breakfast, and fats at the end of the day. So pick 2 meals out of your 5 to 7 meals, guys, and make sure you have that fat. Okay. When it comes down to your macros, guys, I do like to use my Fitness Pal. Like I said, my Fitness Pal has a scan option, so you can actually go in and scan the food and work it out. So for the rest of this video, I'm gonna tell you basically what I'll do for a week, because I'm busy and I like to get my meal prepping done on a Sunday and not worry about it throughout the whole week. Okay, some people might be different, but I personally just like to make the same food for about 6 days for the week, and I have one day where I roughly stick with my macros, and I have a big cheat meal or a refeed to spike to get that glycogen pump. Okay, so guys, when you're looking at just a weight loss for guys, you're looking at least 2,400 to 2,500 calories. Okay, you've got to go at least 40 protein, 30 carbs, 30 fats. Okay, if you are cutting, you can go down from around 2,300 to 2,200, but this is like getting dangerously low on your calories. You'd want to try and stick around the 28 to 2,500 on average. Most guys would be on, depending on their activity level, would be on 24 to 2,800 up to 3,200 calories. Okay, so if you are cutting, remember it's 40 protein, 30 carbs, 30 fats. Okay, and then you want to go into maybe up to 45 protein, lower your carbs down to 25, and then lower your calories down a little bit. This is obviously going to help you strip fat, but it's still going to keep you full. You know, just a basic 2,500 calorie diet would say 150 grams of bacon, okay, 3 eggs, some kale or spinach, some mushrooms in the morning. Okay, You have your post-workout training. Okay, after you train, you have your isolate shake with some creatine, glutamine, and you have a banana. Okay, obviously bananas and fruit are great simple carbs, and they do spike your insulin level. They've also got a lot of magnesium and stuff in there that your body needs. So after banana and shake, we'll wait for a while, and for lunch we'll say have 2 kangaroo patties, 150 grams of green beans. Then you've got 60 grams of oats with some cinnamon sugar on top. Okay, even put a little bit of honey, it all measures up. Okay, just keep those carbs into you after you train. Okay, so during the end, towards the end of the day, we're all busy guys. Maybe a protein bar, okay, another apple or something. So you're getting a couple of bits of fruit in there. It's keeping your energy level up. And then for dinner, we'll have a nice 250 gram chicken breast, 200 gram chicken breast, some nice broccoli and cooked in some butter on the fry pan, and then we've got our say handful of Brazil nuts or cashews or something like that. So we're having at the start of the day we're having carb free, end of the day we're having carb free. At night you can also have some Chobani yogurt or some Greek yogurt. Mix a scoop of slow release casein protein into it. I like to put a little bit of, I do like to use a bit of that sugar-free maple syrup, because when you're doing these sort of macros, even though you're having all your carbs around your training, you're going to end up still craving some carbs towards the end of the day, and that just takes away that edge. So the plan I sort of told you is more of a body composition plan, and I would probably also have like one big free meal, as many carbs as you can have on your free day, with keeping your fats low. Just remember, when you're going to do your macros, you can never have high fats and high carbs. I will highlight this because your body it just doesn't work. Okay, with a bulk diet, would go about 3,200 would have 40 being carbs, 40 being protein, and 20 being fats. Obviously, like I said, you can't have high protein, you can't have high carbs and high fats. All right, so when you break it down, guys, it sounds really complicated. It sounds overwhelming. You know, you've just signed up, you've got this plan, you've got all these other things, but just remember, guys, once you sort of work out your base diet of where you're at, either between 25 to 3,200 calories, cutting and bulking can be quite easily. It just means cutting out some of your carbs and upping your protein a little bit, okay? You've got to make sure that you're running enough calories to keep yourself going. You can't, like a guy that's on the shovel all day as a labourer versus a guy that's sitting behind a desk, they can't have the same calories and same macros. So remember, at the end of the day, the calories are used for energy. They are a unit of measure for energy. They do make up your macros. And once you stick with those macros for at least 30 days, you're going to see a massive difference in your body. You're going to see your muscles popping. You're going to start to see some lines and definition in your abs, and it's going to psych you up to push even harder. So remember, guys, don't get overwhelmed with it. You don't have to do your macros every day. Just cook all the food on a Sunday, eat the same food throughout the week, and then next week measure up your macros again, and then go again. Okay? Happy prepping, guys.